like NASCAR? Do you like a Tribe Called Quest? Well, you gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Do you like manwich and nachos? Well, then you'd love the Urban Conservative.
Do you like guns? Do you like butter? Well, you're gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Yo, what's good, son? You like pit bulls, say? You like solving Sudoku puzzles? Then you gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Hey, buddy, if your car making a sound like this, you might want to get you some power steering fluid and check out the Urban Conservative podcast.
Are you repulsed by the idea of drag queen story time at your local library, but enjoy Carol Baskin TikTok memes? Then you would enjoy the Urban Conservative.
TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
This season of the Urban Conservative Podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com.
This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description. Folks, good morning. Top of the morning to you. I am Addul Ali, and welcome to Top of the Morning. This is the Urban Conservatives Media Show. Thank you so much for watching on Millennium TV and live on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever else you catch our podcast and such. Make sure you get that Millennium 24 app so that you can watch our shows and our content anywhere around the world. And a big shout out to Stu and our good friend Nora over there. And a big up to my brother Raheem, working the boards. You might be noticing I am sans coffee this morning, and there's a reason I am sans coffee this morning. Is because it is our birthday. We, the twins, we officially turned 44 today, and quite frankly, it is baffling to us that we made it this far. We really, honestly, all jokes aside, I can remember my brother and I, not thinking we would live this long. Not the idea of having grandchildren and the idea of having children, the idea of owning a business and being involved in what we are was just the furthest things from our imagination. And now to be 44 years old, it's surreal a little bit. I woke up this morning and it was just a little surreally feeling. So again, I'm just honored and thankful to be a part of what we do here at the Urban Conservative and all the things we do with the GOP and Frederick Douglass Foundation and the Black Conservative Voices and having a family and just it is mind-blowing that we made it to 44. My brother and I were joking about this, folks. The other day he was telling me, he said, yo, my shoulder. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, yo, I just went to go grab something and the shoulder kicked in. And I'm like, word, I've had that same shoulder problem. So things change up when you get a little older. So we got to stay more on our health because health is wealth and all that kind of thing. But to be 44, man, it's just we made it. Hopefully we were joking behind the scenes and said, well, let's see if we can pull off 45. That'll be the name of the game, to try to pull off 45. So thank you for all the birthday love and the shout outs and all of that. As always, jump in the comment section. Let us know where you're watching from. If you have a question or a comment, feel free to throw that in the mix because we've got a couple of stories we're going to cover this morning. And the first thing is one of my favorite movies of all time. Okay, it's just one of my favorite movies of all time is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe, to the Galaxy. Okay, if you've not read the book or watched the movie, I suggest watch the movie. It's very entertaining. But there's a scene in this movie where these beings go to ask Deep Thought, the computer, the answer to the universe, life, the universe, and everything, right? And they go, what's the answer? The answer to the question, to life, the universe, and everything. And the machine tells them, come back in 7 million years or something like that, and I'll have the right answer. Then they come back in 7 million years. There's this big festival, and they're celebrating Deep Thought giving them the right answer. And Deep Thought sits for a second, and it says, I thought about the answer, but you're not going to like it. And he says, what is it? We have to know. 42. The answer to the universe, life, and everything is 42. And it's apparently clear that 42 is indeed the right answer when it comes to immigration. Now, why is 42 the right answer when it comes to immigration, Title 42? Apparently, the judges thought Title 42 was the right answer. And keeping that Title 42 restriction policy in place was the right thing to do, because we've shown you on this show time and time again. We've covered it on the Urban Conservative time and time again. I had an opportunity to sit with Christian Castelli, who took a tour down to the border. I've talked with Ted Budd, who's been down there to the border, and Congressman Richard Hudson, who's been down there to the border. I've even had an opportunity to talk with Tom Homan, who's the former director of ICE. And folks, we have to get the southern border under control. There are everyday average Americans who are having to deal with this issue at the border. So much so, take a listen to what this lady has to say.
Oh yes, we have people coming through our property in vehicles, going through our fences, and on foot. And the numbers that are coming through on foot continue to increase.
Wow. Tell our viewers about where you're at in relation to the border and how common it is that you might see illegal migrants actually showing up where you live.
We aren't even on the border. We are about 56 miles from the border. However, you know, they want to go north, and so they will come through our property almost on a daily basis. They go through our fences, they cut our fences, they either come in through vehicles or on foot, and then somebody picks them up.
So what we're dealing with here, folks, is people that are 50 miles away from the border are even seeing these migrants being trafficked, the coyotes making their way through the border. It's a terrible situation, and it was the right move to keep the Title 42 in place for what's going on at the southern border. So good job on that judges for keeping Title 42 in place. Is something that, you know, we covered this the other day. There are millions, hundreds of thousands of let looses. We don't know where they are. People just have no idea. They cross the border, they come in our country, and we don't know where they are. This November was the worst record on month, a 300% increase over the same time in the Trump administration. What does that tell you? And I'll tell you what that tells me. That tells me Democrats, especially when we look at them trying to give illegal aliens the right to vote in our country, they realize they're losing their grip on the black vote. They're losing their grip on the Hispanic vote. A good chunk of Democrats don't want to see Joe Biden run again. People are starting as American citizens to realize, all right, we get the having a left and having a right, but y'all are going way too far. There was a time in American politics where people basically agreed, and we can find the video of Democrats saying, defend the border, keep the border closed, keep the border secure. Something happened when Donald Trump came down the escalator. All of that went out the window, especially now, like I said, since you see Democrats are losing their grip on minority communities. People are starting to wake up and see that the policies that they're advocating for are not benefiting the communities. I mean, I can leave Cabarrus County, drive right down to Charlotte, and I promise you, at dang near every light that I stop at, somebody's panhandling. There was at one point in Charlotte a whole entire tent city of folks downtown. And then you got to look at this. The first thing the city council does is increase their own pay. That's what the kind of stuff we're on is. Then you also have to realize what the implications of this illegal crossing of the border, what this brings, an unsecure border. We just talked about yesterday, 2,900 pounds of fentanyl, thousands and thousands of pounds of liquid methamphetamine, not to mention terrorists that are getting in. I think the list that Senator Bud showed us was 42 countries. There are people from 42 countries coming across the southern border. We talk about all of this synthetic and fentanyl stuff. It's coming from China through our southern border. They're working with the drug cartels in Mexico to get that stuff into our country, folks. So it's the right move to keep Title 42 in place. We've got some more news coming up here on Top of the Morning. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a real quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com.
All right, good morning again, folks. Welcome back to Top of the Morning. If you're just tuning in, my name is Addul Ali. We really appreciate you being a part of the show here. Jump in the comments, let us know where you're watching from so we can get you a shout out. If you have a question or comment, we'll get that out on air as well. Good morning, Miss Julie. We appreciate you watching the morning show here with us. We hope you'll give us a share and a like. Now, I don't really care what grown people do in their own homes. I have no interest in what happens in grown people's houses. It's kind of the American way to, a man is a king of his own castle. The castle doctrine. What happens in a house and a home should stay there. Okay, that means if you want to dress up like a chick at your crib, that's all you do it in your house, right? But what we have is people moving past the step of saying that and going, you must celebrate. You must, in fact, celebrate. It's bigger than accept. It's celebrate. You must condone. You must participate in what we're doing. And so much so, you look at the military, the United States government, as a microcosm, right? It's this little tiny world in and of itself. Excuse me. Now, came across this really weird video. As you all know, we covered this yesterday morning. There's a university going to pull down a Confederate statue and put up a statue of Rachel Levine. Now, I found this video, okay? It is strange, to say the least. It is odd. I mean, it's not odd because Rachel Levine's a man who dresses and acts like a woman. It's just, I can't.
Health professionals have a critical role to play. We must continue and to expand their work to address health misinformation directly with their patients. Now, this includes, but it goes beyond COVID-19. So I'd like to just talk briefly about another area of substantial misinformation that is directly impacting health equity in our nation, and that is the health equity of sexual and gender minorities. There is substantial misinformation about gender-affirming care for transgender and gender-diverse individuals. We are in this nation facing an onslaught of anti-LGBTQI+ actions at the state levels across the United States, and they are dangerous to the public health. The positive value of gender-affirming care for youth and adults is not in scientific or medical dispute. So we all need to work together to get our voices out in the front line. We need to get our voices in the public eye. And we know how effective our medical community can be talking to communities, whether it's at town halls, schools, conversations with others. And we need to use our clinicians' voice to collectively advocate for our tech companies to create a healthier, cleaner information environment. During a moment when public trust in our leaders and our information is very challenged, the healthcare worker community, the medical community does, I believe, maintain a high degree of trust, and we have to utilize that, and we have to utilize it effectively.
All right, I don't know if y'all caught what just happened, but the person just said, first of all, I didn't know there was an I in there. Can anybody tell me what the I is? If you can get in the comments and tell me, I didn't know there was an I in the LGBTQRSI. I didn't know there was an I. First of all. Second of all, if I went into a doctor's office and I said, Doc, I feel a pain in my right leg, the first thing the doctor's not going to suggest we do is amputate my right leg. Okay, it's not what the doctor's going to do. If I said, Doc, I've got a pain in my pinky, first thing the doctor's not going to do is say, let's surgically alter your hand. Okay, it's not the first thing that's going to happen. What you just saw was real. That was Rachel Levine in a video, a Department of Health DHS video. Okay. First of all, they let the cat out the bag that we need to coordinate with big tech. So what y'all are seeing happening with the Twitter files is actually backed up right then and there. Second thing is, you see transgender, gender affirming care clinics closing across the world because their science is not settled on this, okay? Science is not settled. It's one of the biggest pet peeves that I have is people who go, I get it. There's some value in education. You can have a college degree, a PhD, and still be a dumbass. That's a thing, right? You can also have an agenda. And when you are a man who thinks you are a woman, who acts like, dresses like, you're not going to convince me that you are indeed a woman. And that's what they're trying to get across here, is that not only do I have to accept that you think you're a woman, I have to accept that you are in fact a woman. I have to accept that men who are born men can become women. That was our government at work. That's our government at play. They were hoping we didn't see anything like that. They were hoping that you, the folks at home, had no idea that they were doing things like that they were having conversations like that. And the scariest part about that is that individual, Levine, I'm just going to use the last name, Levine there, is telling doctors, is telling people in the medical community to use the trust that people have instilled in medical professionals to push an agenda. That's exactly what you just heard. We have to use our faith and our trust that people have in us to push this agenda, to put children on the most terrifying hormone replacement therapies, to gender mutilate these kids. Okay, I've watched countless videos of people who have talked about transitioning and then having to detransition and the hell that's caused them in their life. That is just absolutely dystopian, does not describe to the fullest extent what we just witnessed, what we just watched, folks. It is absolutely out of control, insane, scary, pick an adjective. But that's where we're going in this country. And look, I get it. I'm not a person who has ever had to deal with thinking I was not the gender that I was born. I've never had to face that. And I truly feel for the people who have that struggle. But you're not going to convince me that a man can become a woman can become a man, that there's something is not being either. Okay? You're either a man, you're either a woman. That's it. I don't know why that's controversial. I don't know why that's a big deal. Okay? We're going to talk a little bit more about what this has to deal with in a few seconds. We're going to take one more quick commercial break, and we've got one more story that we're going to cover. You think we're racing now? Wait till you see this next one. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on Top of the Morning.
TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Welcome back to Top of the Morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Addul Ali. Again, thank you so much for being a part of the show. Make sure you grab that Millennium TV 24 app so you can watch us on your Roku, Amazon, or Apple TV, or on your Samsung Smart TV. And you can also watch our shows wherever, whenever you would like. Also, if you want to support the show, support the Urban Conservative, jump on over to tuconservative.com, get yourself a membership, or if you want to throw us a cash app for the birthday, is $ TU Conservative. Every little dollar comes in that helps us keep this show going, helps us keep pushing conservative ideas into urban communities across the country, and we appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it. I was just talking a little bit about this really weird video from the government, from a government who is now the Undersecretary of Health or something like that, Rachel Levine. And this individual is a transgender, right? He believes that he is a she. People call him her. They call her Miss or Ma'am. It's ma'am, okay? It's ma'am. I wish we could find that video. That is just the most psychotic thing. If you've never saw that video, it's absolutely nuts. But folks, here's the thing. If you're an adult and you want to live like that, that's all you. That's all on you, right? If you're a grown consenting adult and you and your homeboy want to dress up and do it, that is completely your business, your world. We don't have anything to do with that. But where you piss people off, where you actually, we have to, as American citizens, forget conservative, liberal, forget that for a second. As American citizens, as grown people with common decency, okay, with common decency, where we have to draw the line is when children get involved. That is where we have to say, all right, enough is enough. Do y'all see this on your screen here, folks? Do you see this? Every single parent in this picture ought to have the you-know-what slapped out of them. What you're looking at here is down in Florida, is investigating a drag show exposing children to sexually explicit activity. Okay? Florida's Department of Business and Professional Regulation, the DBPR, is investigating a sexually explicit drag show that took place in Fort Lauderdale on December 26th and welcomed children into the audience. The drag show was called A Drag Queen Christmas. Now, I gotta stop right there. I'm gonna stop right there for just a second. Gotta stop right there for just a second. If that's not spitting in the face of Christianity, I don't know what it is. How much more would the uproar be if it was a drag queen Muslim holiday or a drag queen Jewish holiday? Okay, a drag queen Christmas, really? Is that not a spit in the face? Just a slap in the face to Christianity? I don't know what else it is other than a slap in the face. But the drag queen show appears to be the same show attended by Democrat Mayor of Knoxville in her city, which featured simulated sex acts and exposed fake breasts, as well as other explicit material and scenarios. Okay, I'm not going to show y'all this other stuff, but this is absolutely beyond the pale. This ain't normal, folks. A drag show by nature is sexual. It is not a place where children should be. There needs to be a law banning people under the age of 16, 17, 18, figure out the age. But you do not need 8, 10, 12-year-olds. You do not need kids. The age of look at how young that little girl is or little boy is holding that flag. That is absolutely grooming children. Okay? It is absolutely 1,000,000% grooming children to take part in God knows what. And y'all want to convince me that this is just some harmless fun, that people are just, it's just a family. First of all, there's no such thing as a family-friendly drag show, okay? Doesn't exist. I had to realize what happened when you were watching Lion King some time back. We had to go back to Lion King, right? And I realized one part where the guy was like, oh, what do you want me to dress in drag and do the hula? That was inappropriate. Now I'm retrospect. I'm like, dang, that was highly inappropriate. But we're at a point in our country, folks. We're at a breaking point. We're at a tipping point. Y'all are openly sexualizing children. I had the same issue with my kids when they were growing up, and the balance of not having them be cornballs at school, right? Like, you don't want your kid to get picked on for being corny, so you kind of need them to know what's going on. Like, they knew who Nicki Minaj was. They knew who all these people were. We just didn't listen to it in our house. If you heard it on the radio while we was on the way to school that morning, that's one thing, because at least it's the curse-free version on the radio and the kids knew who these people were. But at the point where you would bring your child to a sexually explicit, a young child at that, like we share a birthday, so my son turns 19 today, okay? Right? Yeah, Dre turns 19 today. He's almost a grown man. I got no control. You know, if a kid wants to go watch a drag show, what am I going to do about that, right? He doesn't. But what I'm saying, what am I going to do about that? But Dre at 10, Dre at 7, Dre at 5, my daughter Aaliyah, it's like bringing my 5, 6, 7-year-old daughter to a Chippendale show. What would be the point of that? I'm gonna tell you what else bugs me, and I'm gonna get in trouble with this. I know I'm in the South. It kind of weirds me out when I see y'all do these little kid beauty pageants, when y'all have these little kids in the full makeup and it's just weird. It feels like y'all are prepping these kids for something else. It just feels pedophilic to me. I don't know. I don't like it. I never liked the idea of those little whatchamacallit, the little pageants. I just never thought it was a good thing. But here we have a clear-cut case, right? And it should be clear and cut that these drag shows are not for children, okay? According to the statement, down in Florida, the DBPR was made aware of multiple complaints about a sexually explicit performance marketed to children held in Fort Lauderdale on December 26th, and it is actively investigating. The investigation includes a video footage and photographs from the event, and like in other cases, the DBPR will be taking action. The department frequently conducts investigations into these matters upon tips provided by the public, okay? There is a national tour, okay? There is a national tour of this happening, right? This is a national tour of this happening, and people, hold on, I actually think I found, but let's take a look at this real quick, because you can't make this up. You just really can't make this up. Let's look at this. Hold on. We're gonna make this big. Look, there you go. Let's see if there's children in the, oh yeah, there's definitely children in the audience. Look at this. Who brings their kid to this? Look at all these idiots. Look. This is absolutely ridiculous. Look at the little kid. She's like, what? She's like, what the? This is absolutely nuts. They're probably kicking the dude out is what's happening. Yeah, they kicked the dude out for videotaping in there is what happened. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we are in our country today, where people think it's okay in the name of being woke, in the name of being fair and being equitable and being whatever the term is. I'm not starting to not like the woke word, but whatever that is, the liberal, ultra liberal, open, just, it's absolutely psychotic that you would bring your children to a drag show. Doesn't make any sense to me. It's the most weirdest thing you could possibly do is bring your kid to one of these shows. It's absolutely bonkers, folks. Absolutely bonkers. We're going to take a real quick commercial break. We're going to come back on the tail end of the show. One last commercial break. Share the content with a friend. Grab your cup of coffee. We got one more thing to cover, and we'll be right back here on Top of the Morning.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com.
All right, top of the morning, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for joining the show. Again, my name is Addul Ali, and thank you so much for watching here on Millennium TV 24. Also live on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever else you catch podcasts. This will be back on your podcast later. Last thing I wanted to let you guys know for this morning, it is going to be an exciting week around these parts. It's going to be amazing. On this coming Friday, we have an interview with Representative John Hardister from the North Carolina State House. I'm excited to have him on the show. We're going to be talking about some of his legislative accomplishments. We're going to be talking about what he sees coming down the pike from the North Carolina General Assembly. So please make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to join us here Friday morning at 8 a.m. for an interview with John Hardister, representative out of the North Carolina General Assembly. He represents up there in Guilford County in that area. So again, Friday morning, 8 a.m. with Representative John Hardister. And then on January 4th, we got a firecracker coming on the show that morning. We got Michelle Woodhouse, former NCGOP district chair. She's going to be joining us to talk about some things. So don't you worry. We got you covered here on Top of the Morning. We're going to have some great guests. Again, Friday morning, we've got Representative John Hardister coming. So you don't want to miss that. Make sure you're sharing the content. You tell a friend, a family member. We got something to give you on the tail end of this. Again, thank you for all the birthday love, the birthday shout outs. Thank you for making the morning show a success. We really appreciate it. My name is Addul Ali. You've been checking out Top of the Morning. We really appreciate you. Thanks for the love, and we will see you right back here tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Peace and love, y'all.
It's time for Jerome the Pirate.
All right, folks. My name's Jerome. I'm a pirate, and I happen to be a black pirate. And there's this thing. You guys think that there were no black pirates, and I think that's not being fairly represented in the pirate market. I taught Jack Sparrow everything he knows. I even have the first skin tone matched peg leg. No one did that before me. I was the first to do that. So, I think there should be equity and inclusion brought to the black pirates, because we haven't had our fair shake, and there should be reparations, reparations for the black pirates, because, we didn't get equally represented, and I think this has systematically been done so that you believe that there are no black